Hi, hello. I have been a bad book talker, such is my brand, and I have really let my book mail kind of like grow legs and run away from me. I have 18 new books that I have yet to talk about. It's kind of daunting. So I figured I would just make a YouTube video about them, and then I'll do a TikTok of the ones I'm the most excited about. So if you don't want to watch this whole thing, like, I totally get it, because it's going to probably be very long because there's a lot to get through. So let's do it. Okay, so we have Second Life, Having a Child in the Digital Age. This is on sale May 6th, and this is just a memoir chronicling the convergence of parenthood and technology. Sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. The Secret History of the Rape Kit, a true crime story. This says that it's part thriller, part feminist reclamation, part personal journey, fully a page turner. I believe this is already out. Then I got, I don't know how, some of these I didn't even ask for. I know this is like, oh my gosh, poor me. They just sent me books even though I didn't ask. But some of these books, like, I don't know how, they just showed up. So I have 4 Ann Tyler books. I've never read this author, but I think these have been around for quite a while. I think they're just like like not retitling them. They're book covering them. Gosh, I'm like, what on earth is that? Okay, first we have Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant. Who's read Ann Tyler? I've never even heard of this author before. It says, abandoned by her wanderlusting husband. Rude. Stoic Pearl raised 3 children on her own. Now grown, they're inextricably linked by the memories which hold them together despite their differences. Blah, blah, blah. Now gathering during a time of loss, they will reluctantly unlock the shared secrets of their past and discover if what binds them together is stronger than what tears them apart. It also says that it's funny and heartwarming. That did not sound funny nor heartwarming, but we'll see. Saint, maybe. Ideal teenage son. A careless and vicious rumor leads to a devastating tragedy. Imploding from guilt, he believes that he is the one responsible for the tragedy. No longer a star athlete with a bright future and desperately searching for salvation, he stumbles across a storefront with a neon sign that simply reads, Church of the Second Chance. This says captivating and compelling. All right. Then we have Breathing Lessons. Okay, this one says unfolding over the course of a single emotionally fraught day. I think books written all in one day are kind of fascinating. Let's see, encompasses a lifetime of dreams, regrets, and reckonings. Maggie and Ira are on a road trip from Baltimore, Maryland to Pennsylvania to attend the funeral of a friend. Along the way, they reflect on the state of their marriage, its trials and triumphs, through their quarrels, their routines, and their ability to tolerate each other's faults with patience and affection. What begins as a day trip becomes a revelatory and unexpected journey as they rediscover their strength and bond. Oh. This says it's a wonderful novel. Okay, I'll be the judge of that. And then The Accidental Tourist. This is like an opposites attract novel. Travel writer person. I don't know. I'm trying to like graze through this. He's prickly and alone, the travel writer. Then he meets Muriel, an eccentric dog trainer who's very optimistic. So I think it's like a grumpy sunshine type of thing. I don't think these are like necessarily romance novels, but we'll see. The Princess of Las Vegas. It says Chrissy has created a world that suits her perfectly. She passes her days by the pool in a private cabana. Blah, blah, blah. And splurging on ice cream but never gaining an ounce. It's written by a man. Side eye. Each evening she transforms into a princess, performing her musical cabaret inspired by the life of the late Diana Spencer. Princess Diana. Some find it strange or even delusional. An American speaking with a British accent. Fans see her for the gifted chameleon she is. But when Chrissy's sister arrives in town with a new boyfriend and a teenage daughter, when the owner of the casino is savagely murdered, Chrissy's carefully constructed kingdom comes crashing down all around her. All right. All the Water in the World. And it says, in the tradition of Station 11, a literary thriller set partly on the roof of New York's Museum of Natural History. So this is years after the glaciers melt. Two sisters and their parents and their researcher friends have stayed behind in the almost deserted New York City, creating a settlement on the roof of the American Museum of Natural History. The rural take from the exhibits only when in dire need. They hunt and grow food in Central Park as they work to save the collections of human history and science. A superstorm breaches in the city, flood walls. City's flood walls. Words are hard. They must escape north on the Hudson. They carry with them a book that holds their records of the lost collections. Oh. This says that it's inspired by the stories of curators in Iraq and Leningrad who work to protect their collections from war. This sounds really interesting. I'm gonna set this aside for my TikTok video. Then we have We Are Watching. This is the same author who did The Collection, I think. Is that what that book was called? Right? The Collective, which I did read last year. Comes a slick, riveting, and all too plausible tale where a mother is desperate to protect her family as they become targets of a group of violent conspiracy theorists. Meg was behind the wheel when it happened. She and her husband were driving their daughter to college. The family celebrating the 18-year-old music prodigy's future. Then a car swerved up beside them, the young man inside it behaving bizarrely, and Meg lost control of her own vehicle, and the family road trip turned into a tragedy. Justin didn't survive the accident, so her husband. 4 months later, she works to distract herself from grief and guilt, reopening her small local bookstore, Slay. But soon after she returns to work, bizarre messages and visitors begin to arrive, with strangers threatening them in increasingly terrifying ways. They are obsessed with a young adult novel titled The Prophecy, which was published 30 years earlier. An online group of believers are convinced that it heralds the apocalypse. The social media posts link the book and Meg's reclusive musician father to Satanism. These conspiracy theorists vow to seek revenge on the prophecy's author, Meg. Oh. As the threats turn violent, Meg begins to suspect that Justin's death may not have been an accident. To find answers and save her daughter, her father, and herself, Meg must get to the root of these dangerous lies and find a way to face the believers head on before it's too late. Well, hot dog. That sounds real interesting. Then we have Marble Hall Murders. So I see this author every time I go to Barnes & Noble, and I've never read them before. I think they're called like the Magpie Murders. It's like a series, but I've just never read them. And I believe that this is just like a standalone novel. I could totally be making that up. This says murder links past and present once again in this mind-boggling metafictional mystery. Featuring detective blah 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 and editor blah blah blah. Stars of the New York Times message. Okay, so this girl and her boyfriend are going from Greece to England. She's working on a manuscript of a novel by a young author. The author's grandfather was murdered by poison. She thinks that the book is good, but the plot of the book is kind of mirroring the author's own grandfather's death. It becomes clear that the clues leading to the truth are hidden within the unpublished mystery. Anyway, this comes out in May. May, who knows? Something. May. Then we have the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. It says the Griffin Sisters were the soundtrack of the early 2000s. Slay. Until suddenly they weren't. Two sisters bonded by music, divided by fame, silenced by tragedy. Now 20 years later, a new generation will try to reunite them. Can the love between sisters survive the secrets that remain? And then this comes out in April. This, I don't know why, where, how, because this is not something that I don't know. It says 1954, far-flung Verona Island, a tropical paradise where is legal. Lila Gulliver is proud of her high-end establishment. And then a young, destitute, and beautiful blind woman arrives at the door seeking employment. Lila gives her a chance to earn her own way in the world. She proves to not only be an invaluable asset to the house, but a reckless force of nature determined to succeed in ways that Lila hasn't even contemplated. Then she catches the eye of the scion of Verona's wealthiest family. The stability of the entire island may hang in the balance. Okay, I got a fancy hardback sprayed edges edition of Death of the Author. I'm very excited. It's like stunning, 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 stunning. Disabled Nigerian American woman pens a wildly successful sci-fi novel, but as her fame rises, she loses control of the narrative. A surprisingly cutting yet heartfelt drama about art, love, identity, and connection, and ultimately what makes us human. This is a story unlike anything you've ever read before. Food person. It says that this is a delectable comedy of manners about cooking, ambition, and friendship set in the food world as a young and socially awkward writer takes a job ghostwriting a cookbook for a famous and famously chaotic Hollywood starlet. That sounds silly, and I'm excited. The Last Resort. Oh, this comes out May 20th, and this is already out. Okay, Our Last Resort. Innocence doesn't keep you safe, it just makes you easier to trap. It says 15 years ago, Frida and her brother escaped a cult. Now her brother is the prime suspect in a murder investigation, and this isn't the first time. Frida has always believed in her brother's innocence, but the evidence against him is mounting. This comes out July 8th. This one I'm pretty excited about because it sounds really interesting. So this is The Dream Hotel. This comes out March 4th, so really soon. All too plausible future where data collection penetrates interior life. So Sarah has just landed at LAX, returning home from a conference abroad, when agents of the Risk Assessment Administration pull her aside and inform her that she will soon commit a crime using data from her dreams. The RAA's algorithm. It's Friday. Street sweepers. The RAA's algorithm has determined that she is at imminent risk of harming the person she loves the most, her husband. For his safety, she must be kept under observation for 21 days. But as months pass, Sarah seems no closer to release until one day, a new resident arrives, disrupting the order of the facility and leading Sarah on a collision course with the very companies that have deprived her of her freedom. Tell me this doesn't sound incredible and very Black Mirror. I'm so excited. I have no idea why I received it. I think Doubleday, you made a mistake. But my husband said that he might get around to reading it. But this is about Bill Gates. And it's not that I don't like Bill Gates. I just don't care about Bill Gates. So I don't know why. I don't know about Bill Gates. Okay. And then last but not least, we have Fagin the Thief. So this is supposed to be a retelling of Charles Dickens'. This is a thrilling reimagining of the world of Charles Dickens as seen through the eyes of the infamous Jacob Fagin, London's most gifted pickpocket. So, I believe this is already out. That's a lot of books. Okay, which ones are you excited about? Let me know. Okay, love you so much, bye.